when you're doing launches, like nothing is set in stone and it's a constant tweak and test and experiment. Is this messaging even landing? If this isn't working, okay, well, I'm going to change the rest of the emails. It is just something you just have to really feel into and just see what is working, what is not working, what needs changing, what needs adjusting, being willing to take action when something isn't landing and you do need to course correct. Hello! I am so excited because in this episode, I'm going to take you behind the scenes and share with you the inside workings of one of our launches. It was the launch we did. It was a big launch. It was one of our big launches. It was the Dream Business, Dream Life activation. And I want to take you behind the scenes. I want to show you inside of Asana. And then I also want to show you something that we call our launch map and break it all down for you so that you can see how we organize and plan out a launch. I don't want you to get overwhelmed by this, but I think I always love seeing behind the scenes of how people plan and organize things. And I really hope that it gives you inspiration for how you can plan and organize any launches you're doing. And a launch could be you doing a workshop series. It could be just hosting a live workshop. It could be that you're hosting a free challenge, which is kind of similar to what this was. So I called it an activation and I did 3 live sessions and then a 4th session, which was the masterclass where I opened enrollment and then I opened enrollment to our accelerator. So I want to show you how we planned it all out, and it's the real stuff that we go through. So that we did. So it's kind of as we worked through it and everything, it's kind of some of it's a little bit higgledy-piggledy now in terms of especially the order in Asana has probably gone a little bit astray. But I want to show you so you can see how we do it and how we plan for it. So before I actually share my screen on this, one of the things we do when we know we've got a launch coming up, we want to launch a program, is obviously we work on the program, we work on what it is we want to create, what it is we want to deliver. And then from there, we start thinking about, well, who are the perfect people for this offer? Who is the absolute dream customer, dream person? And we think about who that person is. For us, it's going to be a woman, and we think about who she is, and we think about her struggles, her challenges right now, what she's got going on, what kind of business she has, where she's at with her business, how much money she's making, how many leads she's generating, and any challenges she's currently facing, what her desires are, where she really wants to get to. And we kind of think about that and we break it all down. And then we start to think about what could we create that would be really, really compelling and appealing and impactful and valuable for her. What could that be? And so when we were planning this for our last accelerator launch, I came up with the idea of doing the Dream Business, Dream Life activation. Now, part of that was because I wanted to do it, because I have been on this journey of like, how do you actually build a dream business and live a dream life? Like, how do you get intentional about creating that for yourself? What does that look like? What does that even mean? And for me, I've loved being on this journey and trying to figure that out. So I thought sharing something around that could be really powerful, because our accelerator was all about, well, how, like, we have our dream business operating system and we teach you how to build out, in the program, we build out your dream business operating system with you. And the dream business operating system is so that you have a business that essentially will grow, will run like clockwork, so that you can live your dream life. And so it kind of went really well with the Dream Business Dream Life activation went really well with the Business Accelerator, which was all about this Dream Business Operating System. In the past, we've done a challenge called Ideas to Income, and it's really interesting looking back on how we did. And even though I loved the activation, I'm not entirely sure it was 100% the right people that we had signing up. We did things like we did a sound bath, and when people loved the sound bath so much, and it was so fun to do. But I'm not 100% sure I would do that again. I'm definitely going to have a think on it for next time. But you've got to try these things and you have to listen to your own intuition. And I really wanted to test out something that I was more passionate about. And for me, the Dream Business, Dream Life angle felt way more aligned with me than Ideas to Income at that moment in time. But obviously my audience wants to know how to make more money. So sometimes as well, you just have to listen to what people want. So I work backwards from basically what is it I'm offering, and then I start to come up with ideas for what my launch will be about, or what my workshops will be about, what my live sessions will be about. And then once I've got that, I often really need to come up with the name, because once I have the name, we can start to create the identity around what it is we're creating. So let me share my screen with you anyway and show you inside of our Asana project first, of like how we go about this. And I'm not going to go through absolutely everything because there's tons, but I just want to kind of give you a really good overview of how we do this, and then share our launch map with you. So let me share my screen. Here you can see inside of our Asana project for our launch, the Build Your Dream Business activation. And we have templates for our launches, and then we just kind of adjust and tweak as we go. As you can see, we always have this important section at the top. And the first thing is where we link to the Google Drive and the launch map. And then we have like our project ID, because everything, we try and do these, we don't try, we do these IDs. So this is the same across Asana, Google Drive, Canva, so that if you need to find something for what it is we're working on, you can basically search for that ID, and then everything will come up that relates to that project. We didn't always used to be like this, and bloody hell, it was a mess. So we have these links. So it links to the Google Drive folder where the project lives, and then our launch map. Now our launch map is this. Let me come over here. So this is our launch map, and it starts with something we call the golden sheet. I'm going to walk you through this in just a sec. And then this project is really broken down into different sections. So for this launch, we had a VIP offer. So we had a free activation, and then once you signed up, you had the option to upgrade to VIP. And the VIP has got some extra bonuses. They got some extra coaching calls. They got a visualization. They got a private podcast. They got lifetime access to the replays. And so we basically have a section breaking down what needs to happen for the VIP delivery. We've got the activation Facebook group, because we had a Facebook group, so we had to confirm the name of the group, create the cover graphic, create the group, add the group cover graphic, add the group rules, add the team and invite the admins, create the Facebook group content. And so we basically break down everything we need to do, and who needs to do what, and when it needs to happen by, so that we can make it happen. And then this is where it's a bit higgledy-piggledy, because actually then the next thing is really we had the waitlist for the accelerator, which went live. So this is one of the first things we actually did. We built our waitlist, and we set up our WhatsApp for it and all that jazz. And then we have our activation registration. So this is the main registration for the actual activation itself, which was the launch event. As you can see here, we kind of got the WhatsApp set up. We set up the registration page. Again, we've got a subtask, so film the video, edit the video, create the thumbnail, upload to Vimeo and add to Drive, add the embed code, embed on the registration page. And then registration page. So as you can see, there's 27 tasks assigned to this. So we obviously, registration page, create the document and link to the main tasks, and then copy draft, copy review, copy edits, copy final approval. And then we do the page design review, design edits, design for final approval, update the metadata, add the G4 codes, add the Infusionsoft codes, create the UTM links. So again, like a lot of things that we do. So one, that we can have really good tracking and that everything's set up. Back when it was just me, myself, and I doing my launches, I was, the copywriter, and for a lot of this stuff, I was actually the copywriter for this launch we're doing right now. I would also have been the designer. I designed the pages and I added any codes to the pages. So any, like, for example, Google Analytics codes for tracking, I did all of that myself. And obviously there was a time when I had no idea how to do that, and I had to figure out how to do it. And sometimes it made my head hurt trying to understand what I actually needed to do. I was also the person that set up all the email campaigns. I had to figure out how to build the email campaigns. And sometimes when you're using new platforms or different platforms, it feels like you're staring at something so foreign. You're like, how does this even work? And I really had to get my head around that. And one thing I will say is, Because so often I get asked the question, should I just hire somebody to do this for me? And while now I have a lot of amazing people helping me out in many different ways with these tasks, at the beginning, I had to figure out how to do it all myself. And I'm so grateful because I understand how practically everything works. And if I needed to, I could jump back in and build the email campaign if I needed to. Like, I might not be the best these days because it's not something I spend a lot of my time doing or any of my time doing anymore, but I know my way around. And I think it's really valuable because if you don't know and you're relying on someone else and you haven't got a clue, you do not know when they're doing a good job or when they're doing a bad job or if they're doing it right or wrong. And I feel like it can be really challenging. So if you have an online business, being able to successfully market and sell online is absolutely critical. And I just don't think this is something you should outsource at the beginning. I think it's something you should figure out how to do yourself and get bloody good at yourself if you want to build a really successful business. Which I know is hard when you might also be the person that's creating the content, delivering everything, and delivering the offer itself. It might feel like a lot, and it is a lot. But I just think it's worth the effort and the investment of time to do it, because the learning curve you'll go through and the knowledge that you'll gain, the skill set you'll gain is so valuable. Okay, that's enough of that. So yeah, as you can see, we go through registration. So this is the upsell page that we created. So when somebody had opted in for our free activation, they went to the upsell page, and then we had all the tasks for that. And again, like where it's linked to in Google Drive, let me show you inside. So for example, this is then what our Google Docs look like. So status being built in lead pages, the final link, and then it's got like the text, and we've got a short version, and then we've got a another short version, and then we have a long version that goes here. And again, this was work in progress. We made so many edits of this. We tweaked it, we changed it, there was a lot of backwards and forwards with working on through all of that stuff. So these are all the things to get the activation live. And it's not about all of those little things. My point is, when you're doing any kind of launch, any kind of promotion, if you can be really organized in a project management tool like Asana, or there's obviously loads of them, so that you know what you need to do, when you need to do it, specifically what needs to happen, who's doing what, and when, like, it makes things a lot easier, a lot less overwhelming, because then you can just work through it in a really like systematic way. This is our Asana, but I want to show you now over inside of our launch map. So this launch map is a bit of a beast, but they're so helpful for if you have a team, even a small team. Doing something like this is really helpful. Even if you don't have a team, creating something like this is amazing because it will help you to be really organized, so that when you do have a team, you're already doing things in a really organized way. So the first page is our golden sheet, which gives you the 30,000 foot view of what is actually happening in the launch. So it's the name of the challenge. Will there be a VIP add-on for the free challenge? Yes, it's $27. What's the name of the program? The FEA Business Accelerator. Will there be any bumps on the checkout? No. Will there be any upsells? Yes, a VIP accelerator. Will there be any other variations of this offer? Done for you for 9,800. And then it's got the launch ID, so the ID for the project, the launch name, Build Your Dream Business. It was actually activation. Launch lead was me. It's got then the team, key team, who's doing what. So everyone's roles and like when they're not available. So we knew during the launch who wasn't available and when. Then we've got the launch overview, the goal for the FEA Business Accelerator is to make building a successful online business a million times easier and faster. Launch intentions to inspire female business owners to build their dream business and dream life by getting their business working like clockwork, by joining our first ever FEA Business Accelerator and give them the ticket to their dream life. Target audience, women with a business or a business idea who know they're meant for more. They want more success, more consistency, and ready to break through and make it happen, what they struggle with. Audience transformation. At the end of the 12-week program, each person will have a business that is set up with the systems, process, and strategies that will help it to thrive. They will be bringing in more sales, and obviously it goes on. So again, like anyone on the team can look at this. I can look at this and be like, oh yeah, okay. Because sometimes you feel overwhelmed because there's so much to kind of remember and having this golden sheet helps you to like keep it clear. It has the launch goals, like 250 people we want signed up, 20 plus VIPs signed up. We've got the ad budget that we have, we want to spend. And then it kind of breaks down. So the activation, it's a free experience. It's a 3-day activation experience with a private app. We actually didn't use the private app. Live masterclass. The VIP experience is $27. It includes, what that includes. Then we're selling the accelerator. This is the price. Then payment plan obviously was to be confirmed. Then the 12-week program, but I think, 3-part payment plan and then 12-part. VIP accelerator was 6,800 and exactly what that included. And then the done for you, we ended up not running this time. Supporting documents. So Canva folder, and then the graphic guidelines. So then our graphic guidelines, so that because we've got like different designs happening, we put this together. And we do this often when we've got like a big launch we're doing. I wouldn't do it necessarily if I was doing like a little workshop, but these are the fonts we're using, these are the colors we're using, this is like references for like the design look and feel, this is the logos that we've got. This is a logo for the activation, so that everyone on the team knows, so that we can be consistent with, when we're creating things across social media, across the landing pages, across ads, across everything, everyone has a reference and everyone knows the kind of style for this launch, so that so when we're posting stuff and we're sharing stuff, the event for the launch itself has a feel to it. So you might want to create that for if you're doing like a big launch, so that you have that identity for it. And then we have like frequently asked questions. And then we've got a tab that just details more on pricing and the pricing breakdown across payment plans. Then we have this links and tags. So we have, we put all the links in here. So here's the link to the Infusionsoft waitlist campaign. Here's the waitlist for the registration page, waitlist registration, waitlist confirmation, the free activation gift that people get. So all the links, so that any of us can just easily come here and just quickly find the link that we need. Again, it makes it so much easier to have it all organized. We've got all the coupon codes that we were using, so we could see all of those. So it makes it, a million times easier. We've got all our downsell links. We've got our email timeline. We've got organic data. We've got a layout of all the emails, how they're performing, how they're doing. And then we've also got like Thrivecart data. This is like sales data. And then we have like customer support feedback and questions. So we've got questions that came in, and then so we can all see like what's coming in, what's happening, what are people asking, so that we can all know like what's happening. And so then for example, in our emails, we just break down what emails are sent, when they're being sent, what time they're being sent, what the subject line is, and then how those emails performed. And then we can look at what performed really well, what absolutely performed terribly. And like how many complaints did we have? How many bounces? How many opt-outs? So we can really look at like what's happening across email. I just hope this has really helped give you a little sneak peek inside. Well, obviously it's a sneak peek inside of how we structure and do our launches, and just really hope it inspires you as when you plan out your launches. It doesn't need to obviously have as many things as our launches have in it, because this is like super, super detailed. But even just like being organized inside of a project management tool, and you're breaking down what needs to happen, when it needs to happen, who's doing what. And then you have that launch map with that golden sheet, which is that overview of everything that's happening. And then you can track, for example, email stats, sales stats. You've got all your links in there, so it's super easy to just access like links easily, so pages easily. You've got your customer support issues cropping up, so you can look back on that launch and be like, okay, here's all the data that came in through customer support, or that people emailed in about, all the feedback that we got, all the questions that we got asked, just so again you can just keep a track of like, oh, these issues came up, this needs to change. And it just makes such a difference when you're really organized with it. All that said, when we did this launch, we had a mistake, an error happen. Something happened with our email platform that we were using, that we are going to migrate away from. And anyway, so a sales email went out to the entire list of people who'd signed up for the activation way before cart had opened. So it went out on Friday night to basically the whole list, everyone that had signed up. And I was opening cart on the Monday. So it was this random email opening up enrollment for everyone. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is awful. It's sent out with this coupon code. And I was like, what a disaster. Just this random email on a Friday night of all times. But then what happened was I noticed that not that many people bought. So I was like, this is really interesting because this isn't landing for people. And I know it wasn't supposed to go at that moment, but it would have been one thing if it went by accident and then loads of people signed up, but that isn't what happened. So then all that weekend I realized I need to rework the copy. I need to rework the entire sales page. And so I blooming rebuilt that whole thing. And so again, it just, when you're doing launches, like nothing is set in stone and it's a constant tweak and test and experiment. And you think you've created all your emails and you're like, oh, it's done and dusted, but it's not done and dusted because you have to then be paying attention to what's happening during the launch. Is this messaging even landing? This isn't working. Okay, well, I'm going to change the rest of the emails. Or loads of people have been asking this question. They have this big objection. I need to address this in my copy. I need to change the sales page. I need to rewrite the email campaign. So during the launch, it's so crazy because you're constantly rewriting and tweaking things, unless it's a launch you've done over and over and over and over again, and you've optimized and optimized and optimized it each and every time. But even then, sometimes you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. Sometimes people get bored of it. I mean, it completely depends, but I have done a lot of sometimes the same thing over and over again. But anyway, it is just something you just have to really feel into and just see what is working, what is not working, what needs changing, what needs adjusting, and being willing to take action when something isn't landing and you do need to course correct. Anyway, I hope this has been super helpful. If you've got any other questions on launching or anything like that, let me know. We are here to help. If you ever want our help with, learning more about how to actually do your own launches, building this all out, building out your runway for the launch, creating more visibility, and really building a successful business, then we are 100% here to help you. And if you want, you can book in a call with us and come and speak to us and see if one of our programs is the right fit for you. So I'll leave the link below in the show notes if you want to click on that and just book in a call and see if it would make sense, and we can work together and we can really help you to make it happen. But either way, I really hope you have enjoyed this episode. Definitely let me know, take a picture, share your biggest takeaways from this episode with me on Instagram at I am Carrie Green. I will reply, I will repost, I will love looking at them. So yeah, please do that because I really love it when I see them. And I will see you next time on the She Means Business Show.